Neither of them were supposed to survive. So the fact that they're still here and the fact that they're thriving and, they love going out on adventures and they form this deep bond with each other, I just find so incredible. Like, they've literally defied all expectations. I just feel so lucky because I actually feel as though I've done very little. Like, this is all them. This is the two of them and their bond, and they help each other so much. I just feel incredibly grateful that I've been able to kind of facilitate it. I feel like it was fate, I suppose, that brought us all together. I think the universe must have had a plan somewhere, to bring them together. I was working at a shelter in England, and an animal cruelty officer brought her into the shelter when she was only a few days old. She'd actually been seized from a household where she was being quite badly abused. The animal officer seized her from the household and brought her in along with one sibling who sadly passed away within the hour. And the vets told me that there was just no way, given her condition, she would survive. But I volunteered to hand raise her. Leaf was in a local shelter here, and I saw her picture. She was scheduled to be euthanized the very next day. She had also been seized from an abusive household. She had no muscle in her back leg. She couldn't really walk. She had mange. She had skin atrophy. She had no hair at all on her ears. They were just open wounds. Understandably, she was very afraid and quite shut down. So the vet had actually deemed her unadoptable and said that they didn't think her hair would ever grow back. And now I look at her, and that is definitely not a problem that she suffers with. She's so fluffy. It took about 2 weeks for them to become really, really good friends. Acorn had never really been around dogs very much. So when we first brought Leaf home, I was quite anxious. I was quite nervous. I didn't really know how she was going to respond. And for those first 2 weeks, she was really unsure. She didn't know what this strange, smelly, hairless orange animal was. Leaf, she took one look at Acorn and just fell in love. After about 2 weeks, it was like something just clicked, and all of a sudden Acorn, was jumping over the gate and just straight up to her, and that was it. Like, there was never any looking back. Feel like they're kindred spirits or soulmates somehow. They seem to understand each other in a way that no one else does, possibly because, they've come from such similar, awful, abusive backgrounds, and so they kind of relate to each other. They couldn't be better matched. We couldn't have happened to find a more perfect pair. Little Acorn, she's only 6 pounds, so she is this tiny little cat, and yet the amount of personality that is crammed into that tiny body is astonishing. I've never known a cat like her. She's fearless. She's so independent. She's so sassy. I mean, honestly, there are times when she is so much more human than she is cat. Very funny and just completely rules the household. Whatever Acorn wants, Acorn does, and no one is going to argue with her. But she's also incredibly sweet. So she's this incredible combination between fearless and independent, and there's this aspect of her that she just wants to sleep under the covers with us. She always wants to ride around on my shoulder, and she licks my face. To get such a sweet, affectionate cat in the same package as this really independent, wanting to explore kind of wild creature is amazing. Leaf, bless her, she's just so soft-hearted. Like, she's just the softest, sweetest, kind of most anxious, nervous dog. And so combined with Acorn's kind of fearless independence, she helps her confidence so much. I feel like Acorn's raised Leaf as much as we have. They've changed my life entirely, completely. They have become my life. There's not a single day that goes by when they don't make me smile, when they don't make me feel lucky, when they don't make me appreciate the little things in life that I think sometimes we have a tendency to take for granted. But they're so incredible at keeping me present in the moment and, making me take a breath and appreciate where I am and seeing the love between them. It's something that I see 1,000 times a day, but I will never ever tire of seeing or really get used to. It still takes my breath away when I see them licking each other or nuzzling into each other. These are two animals that weren't expected to survive, but I don't think anyone would have expected them to embrace life in the way that they have. I think that they can teach us a lot. I think more humans should be like animals. I think the world would be a better place for it if we were all a little bit more like our animals.